What's up, everybody? This is Dayton from Killinois Kennels. In today's video, we're going to be showing you a clip from our previous live. One of our Killinois family members has one of the saddest stories I ever heard from an upcoming American Bully breeder. This guy went through it all, and he also had a vet that did him super dirty. So make sure you guys watch this video all the way through. Just when you think the video is getting bad, it gets even worse. And he also has some super nice puppies that we're going to be showing you guys at the end that are available for anybody that's interested in a nice American Bully with some of the most exclusive blood out. You know, for some of the best deals you will ever find, man. We will never sell pups this cheap, but it is our blood all the way through. He bought a female from us and he used one of our studs, and you guys are gonna see those puppies towards the end of this video. If you guys want to see us go live tonight, probably around 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, let us know in the comment section. But that's enough for all that. Let's go ahead and get into the footage you guys all came here to see. Let's go ahead and introduce Matt to the channel, man. Big shout out to him. Let's go here. Where we at? All right, here we go. Boom. All right, Matt, you're about to be in here, big dog.
All right.
About to be in here. Here we go, you guys. Everybody, all you Killinois family members, welcome the homie Matt to the channel, man. Matt's been rocking out with us for a long time. He's been a supporter of the channel. He always hits the like button on the videos, shares out the videos and all that. And we're gonna get him on here and kind of let him tell his story today, man. So the first time Matt got with us, you know what I mean, was off of this litter right here. And this female right here is the girl he ended up picking up. That's his girl Sasha. He got a litter. He got a pup out of White Folks Jr. and Beautiful, and you guys will be seeing them here in a second. You know. So again, this is gonna be the father of the litter he picked up. This is White Folks Jr. And here in a second, you guys are gonna see the mother. This is gonna be our girl Beautiful. Go ahead and I can't remember. Wherever you cut off now. That was my bad, you guys. I got it fixed on the echo. You're 100% good now, Matt. As far as I know. Yeah, they're saying perfect.
Cool.
So yep. This right here is gonna be Matt's female getting picked up from the ground shipper Randy. And this was like a blizzard this day, man. This was a crazy snowstorm. So this isn't going to be the best footage of her, but this is actually her where you can see her getting picked up, and about 6 of the other puppies.
So a couple years prior to this litter where I actually, was able to purchase Sasha, I didn't know how serious it was to like call and then keep calling, and I didn't know, I didn't realize a few years back that they're all going to sell out that night. So you would drop the litter. I don't remember which one it was, Dayton, but I'd called the next day, stepped out of work and called, and obviously they'd been gone for 12 hours or more, you know what I mean? So I just kept watching the videos until this one came along, man, and she was actually the one out of the whole the video that showed all the pups and the whole litter. She was actually the one that I wanted. And that night we started calling. We were calling from 3 different numbers, literally sitting in the living room. Called over 1,000 times and got her. And I'd have made the drive out there, but like Dave was saying before, it was a literal blizzard. The Midwest was shut down for a week or two kind of stuff. I mean, super crazy snow. And I'm glad I decided to go with the ground shipper because I was going to make the trip. And that day out here in Ohio, it started snowing real bad because we got the same type of weather. I'd have never made it. You know what I mean? It's like a 10, 11 hour drive one way. And as much snow and, ice and all that stuff that got dumped, I would have never made that. I don't know what would have happened there or back, but I wouldn't have made the trip for sure. I mean, it was just absolutely you couldn't be driving during this time. But yeah, so we went with the ground sugar. It was Randy at that point in time, and he had his route, but obviously we knew, to be patient. And a few days later, a week or so later, she shows up at the front door.
That's right. That's right. This is
Yep.
going to be some footage of the girl he ended up picking up from us. She was right around a year old at this time. Keep in
Yep.
mind that Matt had Matt one thing one thing is Matt at this time really wasn't sending out a ton of footage of the dogs, barely even recorded his dog, and this is just the best clip he had ever sent me. She isn't fully matured in this clip, but
No.
super nice girl, as you guys can see. you know there's not a whole lot of footage of her, man. Matt wasn't kind of prepared to get all that out of to us at this specific time, but we did want you
Right.
guys to see a little bit of video of her. And this is his girl Sasha here, man.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right at like a year. We
yeah.
took her out to the lake. I knew I needed to get some. That's like my favorite picture of her, man.
Right. This is more of a little bit updated pic of her, but this is not her fully matured by no means. Go ahead and let these guys know a little something about this girl, man. Like, that type of
For
deal.
sure. I mean, man, she was my girl. Like I got other dogs, but like I come home from work and I got a fence like at the end of my driveway, and right before I'd peel off around the corner to go to the front door, where if she'd like lose sight of me, she'd like beat me to the back door where all the other dogs are still standing at the gate. I mean, that was just my girl. Like, her temperament was so chill, so gentle, so sweet. Her structure was nice. She was a straight bull. She just fell into the fold of the house really well. You know what I mean? I got two kids. She was great with the kids. Um, she was just an overall, I mean, I couldn't ask for more, in a dog. She was just absolutely, absolutely, absolutely beautiful, in all areas and aspects of life, for sure.
The first time Matt bred this girl, he actually bred her to our boy Killinois Kennels Big Clout. He had a real nice litter, not a super big litter, but he only ended up with two pups, but he ended up with two super super nice pups. And like I told you, at this time, Matt really wasn't like out pushing the dogs as far as like getting footage of them, sending them out. So we don't have anything specific to show you off of this litter right at this exact moment, but he did have a super nice litter with Big Clout, and we will be showing you guys those puppies here soon. So make sure you guys stay tuned for it. On his second litter here, he ended up breeding his girl to Vanilla Gorilla, man. And what did you see in Vanilla Gorilla that made you actually want to go with him, man?
The mass, the structure, the head, just all the way around, man. He's just a real, extreme American bully. And I mean, ever since I've been watching your channel, since he's been introduced to the channel, so to speak, or at least when I got familiar with him, he's been one of my top favorites, of your camp, for sure.
Me and Matt have been real cool with each other ever since he became a Killinois family member. We've stayed in touch. I've gave him all of his I gave him all of his information he need to make all these breedings happen. You know what I mean? Of course, Matt did a lot of research on his own. He knew a lot on his own, but I also helped him get everything together, man. And I'll tell you what, Matt did everything, every single thing he needed to do to make sure that he was having successful litters on both of these litters, man. I want to put that out there before we get crazy and deep into this story. You know what I mean? I'm talking about every single thing, man. And, if he didn't know how to do it himself, he would hit me up and I would help him through it. And, but he did a lot of research on his own and didn't need my help on a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? But he did every single thing he did on both of these litters to ensure that he was going to have a nice, successful litter. And I want to make sure we put that out there. Here in a second, you're going to be seeing a little clip of Sasha at the vet right before right before her C-section. And for those of you that don't know, you know what I mean? With these American bullies, they're not like American Pit Bull Terriers. They're not just going to spit out, 10 puppies like it isn't no problem. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to do a C-section with these dogs. 9 times out of 10, no matter what, you're going to have to do a C-section with these dogs. And it's just way safer. And this right here is what you're looking at, is Sasha at the vet right before they're actually going to do the C-section on her. He did everything. He had the scheduled C-section, everything that it needed to be done. Matt was on top of it. A lot of times I didn't have to tell him anything, but he always knew that if he needed any help with anything, to reach out with me. And a lot of times you would actually try to handle it on your own, but then end up hitting me up and saying, hey, Dayton, what do I do in this situation? And,
Right.
This is what we do with all of our Killinois family members. Anybody that picks up a dog from us, we'll help them throughout all these processes. You know what I mean? And for those of you guys that are Killinois family members and don't know that, can you ensure that to them, bro?
Yeah, no doubt. Absolutely. From the moment I became a Killinois family member, you've always been responsive. You've always been answering. If you don't, you get right back to me. Any type of information I needed, when it comes to dogs and breeding and supplies, and I mean, all the different things that you deal with having dogs, you know what I mean? Whether, you have a kennel or show dogs, or just, you have a pet. If you're Killinois family member, I mean, he's absolutely 100% there for you with anything. You know what I mean? Like, if it's like a dog food related question, or some kind of they got something going on with their skin or something with the allergies, in the like the summertime, or
Most
breeding, or
definitely.
what type of, what stud would pair well, with my female. Even we talk dogs even outside of, Killinois kennels, just, I mean, literally anything dog. Yeah, no doubt, man. You've always been there. And I'd be silly not to, peep game and soak up as much knowledge from you as I possibly can. You've been doing it forever,
Yeah, I
one of the founding
appreciate that,
fathers of
bro.
this breed.
I appreciate that. And thanks for letting them know, man. Right now, you guys are looking at the day the Vanilla Gorilla puppies were born. This is them in the incubator, and, kind of let them know what happened at this, from this, from the moment of you walking in and all that. Let them know how everything was going nice and good and all that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we drive about 2 hours, to the vet that we use. 2 hours, about 2 hours one way. We get there, and they did a reverse progesterone to make sure that the levels were good, and she was ready for the C-section, and she was, so pretty quickly after that they took her in for prep. And then the vet did it. We were able to watch some of that process, which is pretty cool in itself. And and the vet techs are bringing them out, one puppy at a time, and getting them cleaned up, and doing everything that they got to do, stimulating them with the towel, getting them wiped down and clean, much like a human baby. And then they go straight into that incubator. And what you're looking at now is 11. So she had 11 puppies.
Once you got done at this point, you ended up taking all the puppies home, and you know, let's go ahead and start from there, bro. And this is where the story gets kind of crazy, you guys. So, go ahead and let them know, bro.
Yep. So after that incubator, they put her on Sasha, mom, for the first feeding before we even get out of the vet. Make sure they already get that colostrum going. And so then, yeah, we put them back in, got them into the truck, and 2 hour drive home. Puppies, newborns, I mean, really for the first couple weeks at least, they're eating every 2 hours around the clock. So a 2 hour drive back, and it was time to feed them again. And we got home about 5:30 in the morning that morning, and my girl was like, I'll take first round, go ahead and go back to sleep, or go to sleep. So I went laid down. She put them on, and then 2 hours later. So now we're at, 7:30, 8 o'clock, put them on again, everything's smooth. Just kind of rotating the one off, and keeping mom, in the whelping box with the pups, keeping an eye on them, making sure, that mom's not sitting on them or anything like that. And then the third feeding came around about 11ish or so, give or take. And then my girl was getting tired, so she came to wake me up so we could switch off on a shift. And I get up, and 2 hours later, put the pups on again. Everything's good, helping mom stimulate them. So mom was a good mom, and she was doing what she was supposed to do. But that's a lot of puppies. And,
Right, for sure. And she definitely had a litter before this. And let's go ahead and let them know, a short breakdown of how that litter went and everything, just as far as her being a mother and stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. It was definitely easy on her, I'm sure, which was cool because it was her first litter. She was new to being a mom. But she was a great mom. Like I said, like you said earlier, it was a smaller litter, which wasn't a bad thing, because she was a new mom and she was just getting used to it. I know that
And it's
stuff
good for like some practice, whenever you're coming up on a litter of 11, she's already dealt with 2, you know what I mean? That type
right.
of deal.
Well, it was good on practice for us too, because the litter from Clout was my very first litter. You know what I mean? Like I've never whelped a litter before. I didn't grow up whelping litters, so like it was a good practice run, if you will, with a smaller litter. Because it was still a lot, I mean, I had a few years of, research under my belt and knew some things and had, all the supplies that could ever be thought to be needed. And
Man,
I got,
let me say something right there. This dude had every single supply you could ever need. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about he was going crazy. He was not messing around with this stuff. He was very prepared for the whole situation. But back where you was at on the vanilla gorilla litter, you was at to where, you're waking up every 2 hours, making sure the puppies are feeding, and let's go ahead and go on from there, big dog.
yeah, for sure. So, fast forward another feeding or so, and, it's around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something. And I take Sasha out. I get her out of the whelp box to get a little break from the pups, see if she, eats something and keep the calcium going, and, just, because they're feeding off of her, so get her a little food or something, and get her some water, take her outside, let her use the restroom if needed. And it was about 2 hours until the next feeding. So I wanted to create a little, break for her, because there was a lot, 11 puppies in there. And so I put her in her crate, and half an hour or so goes by, give or take 30, 40 minutes or so. And I hadn't really heard much from her, I mean, she just came out of surgery, 8, 10 hours prior, if that. And I went, and it was getting close to feeding time, so I went back, because I'm in the living, this whole operation's going in my living room, so I'm right there on the couch anyways, and she's in the crate. And I had a blanket over the door of the crate, so she didn't want to get back and be with the pups, just to give her a little bit of time to herself. And I put the blanket up, and opened up the crate door, and like she didn't move at all, which was, whatever, uncommon maybe. And I, went to touch her, like pet her, like, come on, Sasha, it's time to feed. And she didn't budge. And I had a like a dog bed in there, real like Tempur-Pedic kind of thing in there for her. And I pulled it out and realized that she wasn't breathing. So my girl was there too. I called for my girl. She was in the kitchen, like right there. And I started, doing, flipped her to her side, and then onto her back, started doing the best that I could, man. and I was breathing for her, you know, mouth to mouth, you know, mouth to muzzle. And we were doing chest compressions, and she was gone, man. I really think the CPR didn't do it. I think she was already, I think by that point, she had already passed. And, you know, of course, you know, one, that's my dog. Two, there's 11, you know, 10-hour-old pups, you know, that need to be fed around the clock and taken care of, you know. So like internally, like you can make, I did my best to make all the preparations and the plans and be thinking outside the box and what am I going to need, but like no one could could prepare me, you know, for something like that. You know what I mean? Like
Most
never
definitely.
never ever did I fathom, you know, you know, my girl passing away, you know what I mean, 8-10 hours after the C-section, man. And so I had her out on the dog bed, and now I'm in immediate, not panic mode, but just focus mode. Like, what is the next step? You know, what do I got to do? You know, I got some powdered goat milk on deck, but what is the next step? At the same time, is trying to keep my emotions down and at a level, you know, playing field, because
And
if
definitely
I lose,
trying to keep your family together at the same time. Go ahead and
right.
let them know a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Like, so, you know, that was a family dog, you know what I mean? Like, you know, of course we were breeding her, but she was she was an at home on the couch, you know, loved her like a family member, you know, type of dog. And so my girl, you know, my girl's emotional. My son isn't home at this point in time, and he's never dealt with any type of death, right? Never lost a, you know, a pet or dealt with any type of death. My daughter is at school, and my parents are on the way up. My parents live about 2 hours from here, but because we brought the puppies home, you know what I mean, they were coming up to see them. And my mom's a huge help with, you know, with the first litter, and then she was coming up to help with the second litter, and my dad would help out as well. And so I got Sasha pulled out on the dog bed, and I knew they were going to be getting there soon. Well, coincidentally, here they are at the front door, and I opened up the front door. My dad came in first, and he was like, "Oh, he thought she was sleeping, like, oh, like, you know, she's tuckered out, you know what I mean, like, you know, whelping 11 pups and stuff." And I'm like, "No, she's gone." And I mean, my parents lost it, made me lose it, you know. I mean, I was on the breaking point anyways. And you know, man, and it was just so crazy to be in that type of situation that, you know, my parents are an emotional wreck, right? My girl's an emotional wreck. I'm an emotional wreck. We pulled my daughter out of school to, you know, to come home, you know, and break it to her, an emotional wreck. And then my son had got home, and it was just absolutely heartbreaking, you know, to see how he reacted to it, because he had never experienced death before, and everybody just wanted to be on the floor just loving her one last time, you know. And
Yeah. One thing
but
I do want to mention is that this didn't just happen, okay? So this was what, 8-9 months ago, you know what I mean, type of deal, bro, or
yeah,
something like that. So
like
keep in
eight.
mind that Matt has already digested this stuff. We would never ask him to get on here right after this happened. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's fully digested it, but you know, we're not, our goal isn't to get him on here and have him busting tears and crying and
Right,
all that. And I mean, I'm not saying that like laughing type of deal, but
right.
you know, if you're expecting some specific emotions out of him right at this exact moment, this happened almost 9 months ago. You know what I mean? That type
Yeah,
of deal. So I just want to put that out there, because some people might be like, oh, well, you know, Matt ain't really seem like he's tripping off of that too hard, but he's already swallowed this for the most part, you know, and I just wanted to put that out there. You know what I
for
mean?
sure. I
That's
appreciate that, man. But yeah, I cried for a week straight. I mean, every single day at some point in time, you know what I mean? That I
right.
was tears for a solid week straight, you know. And it still hurts to this day, no doubt, you know, because she was special, you know, like for real live special.
Right.
Um, you know, but yeah, man. So at this same point in time, now I'm like, what do I do? You know, I know what I got to do. I know I got a bottle feed, you know what I mean?
And
And
I'll
I
tell
got
you
bottle.
what, man, let's go ahead and get into that, man. I'll tell you what, bottle feeding 11 newborn puppies is unbelievable, man. And I'll tell you what, you know, the homie Matt really, really pulled through for this litter, man. And, you know, like I told you before, who am I to tell you that I'm proud of you? But I was proud of you, bro. You and your whole family did their thing, man. And right now, what you guys are looking at is a clip of day one. This is them feeding all the puppies day one. And could you imagine having to do this every 2 hours for the next 3 or 4 weeks? You understand what
Rounds
I'm
the clock.
saying? Go ahead and let
Rounds.
them know a little bit about that situation, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So those couple like multi nipple things that you're seeing, I already had those prepared. You know what I mean? I already had those on deck. Like
And that's
I
how
had
much prepared he was. Because I'll tell you what, as I know breeders has been doing this for 10 to 15 years and don't just have those on deck. That's something you're going to have to order and wait for it to come in. And this dude, like I said, this by no means was any of his fault. And also, go ahead and let them know why Sasha passed. Go ahead and let them know, like, what the, you know, like,
right.
let them know, you know.
So I called, you know, that day later on, and they said, hey, the vet that did the C-section, you know, will be back, you know, for night shift or whatever. I'll have him give you a call. So when he gave me a call, you know, of course he had his, you know, I'm sorry's and, you know, oh my gosh, it's terrible kind of things to say. But he asked a couple questions. And one of them was she hemorrhaging? You know, was she bleeding real bad? Like, did she bleed out? And the answer to that was no. You know, she wasn't hemorrhaging. There was no, you know, excessive mass amounts of, you know, blood or fluid at all for that matter. And I'm like, doc, you know, like what could it be? I mean, like she was a-okay, you know, 1 minute I pull her out, you know, put her in the crate, you know, and check on her 30 to 40 minutes later, but I'm in the room the whole time. You know what I mean? She's just 5 feet away from me in the crate, and 30, 40 minutes later, and she's already gone, you know, by the time I open it up. And he said, man, if she wasn't hemorrhaging, which you're telling me she didn't, I'm like, yeah, she didn't. He said, if she wasn't hemorrhaging, for that to happen like that, and that all of a sudden, the only thing that he said was she passed a blood clot. And,
Right.
you
Man,
know, the
well,
blood
let me
clot.
go ahead and, you know, and one thing I want to let you guys know is like, while you're breeding these dogs, these type of things can happen. This isn't something that is like so like normal just happening, but this is the type of stuff that can happen, you know what I mean? And you know, you're going to go through some ups and downs, and this is a crazy down for a new breeder to go through, man. And you know, I want to send a major shout out to the homie Matt here, because of course he went through it, you know, went through it hard, but he didn't let that stop him. He bounced back, got everything going, and as you guys can see right now, here they are, you know, bottle feeding pups day one. You know, go
Yeah.
ahead and let them know a little bit how that went for you, bro. Is just as far as taking care of these little guys without a mother like that and that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
I mean, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, to say the least, you know, it's, you know, from the first litter to this litter now, I mean, you know, it's nonstop. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot of work. It's hard work. It's extremely, I mean, you were up every 2 hours, literally around the clock. It is an extremely difficult task, even with the mom. So taking the mom out of the situation, as you see in that clip, those are those two multi-feeding nipples, and sometimes they didn't take to them. Sometimes they wouldn't latch, and I had bottles, but I had the puppy bottles. And what I found out from talking to Dayton, calling him up, you know, and letting him know what was going on, he said, man, use human bottles. You know what I mean? So I had to go out. I went out and got human bottles. He gave me because I went to Tractor Supply an hour after I realized that she had passed, and just swiped all their canned puppy formula off. I mean, which is, if anybody's ever bought puppy formula before, that stuff is like $9 a can.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
R-
crazy. And
right. He went and bought all that stuff, and then then he called me and let me know what was going on, and I was like, I was like, well, if you can take any of that back and make
yep,
sure you guys go do this, you know what I mean?
yep,
That
yep,
type of deal. And
yep.
you could definitely tell the difference, right?
Oh, it was crazy, man. I was able to take 200 something dollars of those cans back for real. And then the recipe you gave me for, bottle feeding pups and the puppy formula, I mean, they took to it like that. You could tell they really enjoyed it, and they just wanted to, keep eating it. So now we got, multiple packs of and we were literally just, I'd have a puppy sometimes too. My girl would have a puppy sometimes too. My mom would have a puppy sometimes too. And it was like a whole family thing every
Oh
2 hours
man.
around the
It
clock.
it is so hard to whelp like a litter like this. You guys have no idea, because if you don't have enough people helping you like that, then you got 6 other puppies just whining off the hook. They're all ready to eat. I mean, it is crazy, man. Let them let them know a little bit about like that type of stuff, man, because I know
Yeah.
you had to experience that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no doubt, man. When them puppies get to crying because they're hungry, and you don't have enough hands anymore to grab the other ones at the same time as the other ones, they're just crying it out until this one's done. And then sometimes if they didn't, because we were monitoring how much they were, eating every feeding, and making sure they were getting the proper amounts and proper nutrition, making sure they had nice, fat bellies. And then just kind of rotating pups. And I mean, it was literally nonstop, because if you think about it, every 2 hours they got to eat. And by the time you get all 11 of them fed properly, right? And then because they don't have the mom, now we're stimulating so they can use the restroom, right? So
Right.
we're doing that. By the point in time that they all ate and then they all got stimulated and used the restroom, it's almost to that 2 hour mark where they got to eat again. There might have been
Right.
half an hour, 45 minutes or so to like try to shut your eyes for a second and then right back up again, man. I mean, just, and I feel we did that for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, you don't have much of a choice at that point in time, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know,
It made me go harder though, man. You know what I mean? Like I've only had this is only my second litter. We've always went hard, but like losing Sasha and then these puppies, basically like being orphaned, and like all they got is us, you know what I mean? And like I just had to like dig my heels in. The whole family had to dig their heels in, and we just went extra hard for them, because I'm like, I'm not losing them. I'm not letting Sasha go out like that in the legacy, and she dropped 11. You know what I mean? Like I got to do everything in my power to keep 11 of them alive, and 11 is my lucky number. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I got to do what I got to do.
no,
And
man, and again, bro, I'm super proud of how you handled this whole situation, man. And
appreciate it.
like you just said, you got 11 puppies, and you still every single pup survived, and that
Yep.
is a challenge, especially for a new breeder that's not familiar with all this, man. I want to
Right.
say for real, I'm proud of you and your whole family all coming together and doing everything you needed to do to make all these puppies live, man. Big shout out to you for that, bro. Real talk. I know how it is. I've dealt with having to bottle feed puppies and that type of stuff, man. And it is a pain in the what, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is pain, but that type of stuff. But as you guys can see, here's the puppies. I would say they were maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks at this time, Matt, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They had their eyes open at this point. But hadn't had them open, too terribly long. I'd say you're probably real accurate with that.
Right. Probably more along the lines of 3 weeks old. And
Yeah.
here's a little clip. Here's a little clip of them, probably at about 6 weeks old, something like that. As
Chunk.
you guys can see, man, they did their thing, man. They did their thing off of this litter, man. Super, super nice litter of Vanilla Gorilla and Sasha puppies, man. RIP to Sasha, man. That is, and I just want to stress that that girl didn't pass on anything that he did wrong. He did everything, every single thing that he needed to do was right. This was just an unfortunate situation, and these are the type of situations that you get into dealing with these dogs, man. It happens. I mean, that personally has never happened to me in those same exact thing, same exact way, but this isn't the first time I've ever heard this, and bad things do happen out of your control. This stuff isn't just, you think everything's going to go to plan. Expect something not to go right, and that's just how this goes. And this ain't the only thing that went wrong. And make sure you guys stay tuned, because we'll get to that here really soon. After hearing that, you don't think the story could get any worse, but it actually does. This is the part where we get into the vet really screwing Matt over, man. I can't believe this happened. Make sure you guys stay tuned. This is still a crazy, crazy story. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and share this video so we can get this story out there. But now let's go ahead and get into the footage. What you guys are looking at right now is the puppy's a little bit older, probably about 8-9 weeks old, maybe 10 weeks old. And here they are, living it up, doing their thing, man. This was before they got their ears done and all that. And boom, here they are with their ears done. But let's go ahead, not only did he go through the trouble of being, of his female passing away and having to do all that. So then he stepped up and he went to go get the ears done. And let's go ahead and get into that information right now, Matt. Let's go ahead and let them know, how that went. You know what I mean? Just start from the very beginning all the way on. You know what I mean?
Yep. So we found a vet. I don't use the vet that we do reproductive work with because they don't do ear croppings. But so, we found a vet, and mind you, this is a reputable vet. This isn't somebody pulling up to the house, not saying anything bad if anybody's ever done that.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
But this is, brick and mortar veterinarian hospital, you know what I mean? Like on Google, the whole nine kind of thing. It's about an hour and 15 minutes drive or so. And so, we made an appointment, and with so many pups, they couldn't do them all in one day. I took males up first or females up first, whatever. And then the next day, the next gender, and, got the ear croppings out. Now, mind you, with my other dogs, we've done crops on them as well. Sasha came cropped, but all the rest of them, I've gotten cropped. And this was the first vet that, and I know it's a common practice, but this was the first vet that actually taped and posted them, right? So we bring them home, and they said, the tape will come off, a few days into a week, and bring them back 10, 12 days or so, 10, 14 days. We'll take the stitching out and all will be well, which is normal, at least what I've heard, and what I've experienced myself. Right. And we were like 2 days in post crop. So after the crop had happened, and at the base of the tape, like at the base of their ears on some of them, when I say some, I mean the majority of them started looking a little like scabby, a little raw. And I kept an eye on it because I'm like, that it could be irritation from the tape, or where they shave the fur from the ears. And I looked at it, or irritation from them scratching because it's healing, and it can be itchy. I get that. And the next day, so I kept an eye on it overnight. The next day, I looked at a couple of them. It only took me looking at a couple of them. I'm like, oh, there's not something right with this. The bottom where their ear like met their head was starting to look like raw, like a carpet burn or something. You know what I mean? Right. That's kind of what it resembled. Just like the top couple layers of skin was just gone. Like it wasn't bleeding. It was just raw and moist looking, and I'm like, nah, this ain't right.
Right.
And I called the vet, and he said, man, send me some pictures, or whatever. And I sent him some pictures, and he said, oh, you got to bring them. It was like Saturday, and they were closed on a Sunday. He said, I need to see them in person. I'll open up the shop, the hospital, for you tomorrow. Can you be there tomorrow morning? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So we made the trip up there on that Sunday morning, and all 11 of them, which is a feat in itself. And I bring him up there, and he's taking the tape off, and not all the ears on all 11 puppies, but a big majority were horribly, like, infected. You know what I mean? And
let me kind of stop you right there for 1 second, bro. This is some of the craziest stuff I ever seen dealing with some ear crops and things like that, man. Unfortunately, we wasn't able to put it up here. Initially I was going to show this to you guys, but I didn't want to take a risk of getting this live taken down, or any videos getting taken down, or any of that type of stuff. But I'm talking about, I have never seen anything like this before in my life, man. Keep in mind, what you guys are looking at right now as far as the puppies, this was after all that was over, right? This was after all that. This was after, Matt getting the puppies. Go ahead and get back into your part. I just wanted to put that part out there.
But yeah, so he gets, the tape off, and a couple, tapes, and, from them, playing whatever came off. And like in the crate in the truck on the way up kind of thing, we got 11 of them in the same thing, big, large crate, whatever. And we get up there, and he assesses, based on priority on like who needs something done now, and there were a few that just needed like cleaned up, some topical stuff. And there were also a few that, it was absolutely terrible. When a matter of from the surgery to fast forward like 3 days later, and they're looking like the ears are going to fall off. And I'm talking not at the line of the crop where, they laser cropped it. I'm talking at the base, like where the ear meets the head. And he's like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how either. You're the one who did it. You know what I mean? Like
let's go ahead and start right there. This isn't like Matt did something wrong to make this happen. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This is more of the practice of the vet that made this happen. There's no way, like, I've never seen this happen at all. I've never seen anything happen like that, even remotely close. Like, whatever he put on those puppies to make the tape stick to those ears, I feel like that is what created this situation. You know what I mean? But go ahead from where you were at, bro.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like you were saying, this isn't our first, this ain't the first dogs we brought home with, freshly cropped ears, like we know how to take care of them, and, listen to the vet, but we know how to take care of them. And for that to happen so rapidly and so quickly and get to the point of infection of where it got to just in a couple of days is just absolutely insane to me. But so he's like, he's not freaking out, but, he's like, oh my God, this is so bad. This is terrible. And, like where the fur on a few of them, I was thinking if they shook their head, their ear was going to come off. Literally there was the fur and that layer of skin on some of them was disconnecting right from their head. It was absolutely horrible. And the worst one, right? The worst pup with the worst ear, both his ears were bad, but one of his ears was really, really so badly infected that it was fat, like it was swollen, and it was starting to be necrotic. And he's like, man, he said, I'm worried about this one's ear. And I said, well, yeah, I can tell that it's like the worst one out of all of them. And I said, well, what do I got to do basically? And, and is he going to lose his ear? And he said, I don't know. You know what I mean? It'll be touch and go. for, you know, a couple weeks at least, if the necrotic tissue is going to keep spreading, and if he's going to lose his ear and we'll have to amputate or not, you know. And he said, I want you. So he gives the antibiotics, and, you know, he gives the pain meds, and he does everything he can do. And then he said, I want daily pictures updated of their ears. Right. I'm like, all right, bet. Right. So we pack them back up. We go home, you know, and continue to, you know, do what we got to do with, you know, whelping the litter and doing what we do with them. And next day goes by and I send him updated pictures and he don't respond. Well, another one of the pups had broke one of his stitches out, you know, so it was a little splayed open up towards the tip. And I sent him a picture of that. And I said, hey, Doc, I don't know, you know, if this needs restitch or if we're good to go, like, let me know. And I sent him the pic and he said, looks like he popped a stitch. Like, yeah, I know. You know what I mean? He said, looks like he popped a stitch. And I said, what should I do? And I never heard from him again. He totally.
Yeah, see, the thing is when they're that infected, of course they popped a stitch. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know,
right.
this wasn't Matt's normal vet, somebody he dealt with on the regular or anything like that. This was actually the first time you ever dealt with him, right?
For the cropping, yep.
And which is crazy. Did you hear what he just said? He said that he was keeping the vet updated on all information, and the vet just flat out went ghost on him. You know, I really wanted to go ahead and let it be known exactly what vet this was and all that type of stuff, but you know, we're not trying to get sued or any of that type of stuff, man. So it is what it is. It's a vet in Ohio, and if you guys want to know exactly what vet it was, reach out to Matt and he will let you know. You know what I mean?
Doubt.
That type of deal. You know, at this point, bro, let them know, like, you know, how you were mentally feeling, how you and your family was mentally feeling by this time after losing your female and getting to this point, and now the ears and all this. Go ahead and let us know, like, where you was at that point in time.
And I all over the place, but if I could sum up that feeling, you know, in one word on opposite ends of the spectrum, one word would be defeated, and on the other opposite end of the spectrum is determined. You know what I mean? Because, all right, so here's a problem. What's the solution, right? So
Right.
I wasn't cool with hearing from that vet, and I knew, you know, he wasn't a good guy, so to speak, because he ghosted me. But I wasn't cool with him saying, I wanted a second opinion, you know, about the one's ear, talking about it's touch and go. I'm not sure, you know, if you're going to lose it or not. So I take him back up, you know, all the pups to my normal vet, the 2-hour, you know, away one for where I get all the reproductive work done at, PG tests and all that stuff, C-sections. And by this point, I just bring them the ones that were really bad, right? So I think there was about 4 or 5 of them that I was still concerned with, and especially with the ones here, I wanted a second opinion. So I bring them up there. Now, mind you, the first vet sent me home with some ointment, you know, and some pain meds and things of that nature. So we've been doing that, following that, you know, prescription. I take him up to my main vet that I use, and he told me the same thing. You know, he said, "Man, it's going to be touch and go. That one," he said, "the rest are going to be fine. All the other ears, they're going to be fine." He gave me some new ointment stuff and some new meds. You know, but he gave me the same professional, you know, opinion that one might lose his ear, and so I took it in stride, man, and we got him home. And the next 6 weeks, you know, was absolutely us, you know, playing straight, you know, vet tech veterinarian on top of the other responsibilities that come along with having a litter of pups. I mean, they needed diluted iodine, washed, cleaned multiple times a day, every ear. And then they needed that medication.
I seen someone in the comments says something about Neosporin and patience, bro. This was way beyond that. You understand what
Oh,
I'm saying? I wish we could show you, you know, I'm
right.
not like, we'll go over that question. I just seen a quick look at it. This was way beyond some neosporin and patience helping this situation out. I wish I could show it to you, but it's way too graphic to show it to you. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But
I mean, and I get it, because like I'm trying my best to describe it, but like it's without like seeing it's real hard to imagine how bad they really were. You know what I mean? Without seeing them, man. But yeah, they were absolutely horrible to the point that I thought if they shook their head too hard, their ears were going to come off. I mean, they looked like they
right.
I mean, no
It
joke,
was
man.
so bad, dude.
They
Like, I wish I
horrible.
could show you guys these pictures just to show you how bad it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But YouTube is weird in those situations. You know, like there isn't. It's not like it's like, but it just looks wild, and I just didn't want to risk it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type
Yeah.
of deal.
Yeah.
But
But
this.
man, really
Go
6
ahead.
weeks probably. Yeah, just of cleaning them multiple times a day, and then the specialized ointment that the vet sent us home with, and then also oral medication multiple times a day. Some form of antibiotic, and then a form of pain medication, man, because these ears were just. I mean, I even like Google trying to find stuff. Like images of anything that was even like remotely close to what I was dealing with, and I didn't find any. But what I did find was other necrotic tissue and extremely deep lacerations that looked identical or very similar to what their ears looked like.
Right.
um and I mean, and that's just that. I mean, that took, besides every other responsibility to keep 11 happy and healthy, that took full center stage, a whole lot of time and a whole lot of focus, because you got to keep them clean, and then you got to keep them medicated, man. And it was a 6-week process. And the silver lining to the part of that is no one lost ears. you know Everybody healed up fine. You can't
Did
even
your
tell.
thing, man. You guys did your thing, man. Like I
No,
said, man, I know a lot of people would have damn near gave up by this moment. You know what I mean? But you
for
guys did your
sure.
thing. 11 puppies got all their ears right, got all of them together, man. And like I said, bro, who am I to tell you I'm proud of you, bro? But I am definitely proud of you guys and the
No,
way
that
you
means a
guys
lot,
got
man,
that
for
got
sure.
this stuff together. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. In those clips that you guys were just looking at with the puppies running around playing, that was shortly after he had got these guys together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But now we're going to go ahead and get into the puppies being together and, all together. This is where the story ends up getting good. This is where there's no more really drama in the story or any of that type of stuff. But let's go ahead and get into that, man. But here they are, you guys. Here they are at probably about 4.5, 5 months old right here. This is all of them playing around, running around, and that type of stuff, man. And you know, at this time, Matt really wasn't doing no promotion off of these puppies at all. He wasn't posting them anywhere. He was really waiting for us to be able to post them on the channel for all you guys to see. And trust me, we had all intentions on doing that. But right as he sent me this footage, this was the footage we was going to use to show him you guys, to let you guys know that you guys could pick up some puppies from him. And once he sent me this footage, we was in the middle of a litter, and once we had dropped that litter, I was ready to help Matt and get his puppies up for him, that type of deal. Unfortunately, as most of you guys know that follow the channel, you guys know that our computer, it was like any obstacle that could go on for Matt at this time was coming and knocking him down. And we had totally no control over any of this. You understand what I'm saying? Like, trust me, just as much as Matt didn't want our computer to mess up, we didn't either. This put all of us on hold. So here are the puppies at 4.5, 5 months old. You know, I was supposed to put them up at this time. The computer crashes down, and we don't have the computer for over a month's time. You know, understand what I'm saying? So Matt hasn't done any promotion at this time, no promotions at all. Hasn't put his dogs. He doesn't have a Facebook page for his dogs. He doesn't have an Instagram. He doesn't have a YouTube or none of that. You know what I mean? So he was fully banking on us to help him with this situation. And you know, I understand, you know, that to a certain extent type of deal, but for you guys that are, you know, Killinois family, and when we tell you that we're going to throw the dogs on the channel for you and that type of stuff, keep in mind that you need to do your promoting and promotions as well. Don't just throw it all on us type of deal. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying Matt did that. So let me get that right. This is not for you, Matt. This is
No
for
doubt.
other people is what I'm saying that for. You already know I told you, you know, you got to get
No
them,
doubt.
you know, you got to do something, bro. You got to start working on your own a little bit. And Matt did end up selling a couple puppies off of this litter, okay? But unfortunately, like I said, we wasn't able to get him up. He didn't have no major motion going on any social medias or any of that type of stuff. And just as much as I wanted to get back to work for us, I wanted to get back to work to help out the homie Matt here too. You understand what I'm saying? And,
Yeah.
you know, by the time that month and a half time goes, you know, then our puppies are getting older at the same exact time, things like that. You know what I mean? As soon as we got the computer back, we got straight to work, and I had to put up 2 litters up for sale at one time, get those puppies up, all that type of stuff. And you know what I mean? And so we could help out the homie Matt. And this
Yeah.
situation is really to help the homie Matt, man. Matt, you know, not only is he just getting on here telling you his story, but he still does have some of these puppies available. Okay. And, you know, for anybody that's interested in getting some Killinois dogs out in the Ohio area, or no matter where you're at, he's got some amazing blood here going for some crazy steals. Crazy deals. And the only reason why they're going that cheap is because the puppies are getting a little bit older and that type of stuff. But with that being said, with these puppies getting older, you know, this is not the puppies right now. Like I said, they're about 4.5 to 5 months old here. Maybe coming up on maybe 6, somewhere around there. But you know, the puppies are now currently 7.5 months old. Okay. So, you know, he's got some crazy deals going on some top-notch quality blood. Yes,
Yeah.
they are 7.5 months old. You know, some people might think, hell no, I don't want to buy a 7.5-month-old dog. But if you guys are looking to breed these dogs, before you know it, you're about six months to a year in, and you're having puppies with these dogs, that type of stuff, you know. And then also getting them at this older age, you have a better idea of what you're looking at, you know what I mean, of what the dogs are going to be. As you guys can see, the dogs are good with kids. They've grown up with all their kids, you know, had plenty of interaction with everything. And, you know, go ahead and let them know a little bit, you know, that you think you should let them know about the puppies.
Yeah,
You know,
for
here
sure.
soon, we'll show you guys the puppies separated from males and females. You know, go ahead and let them know how you're feeling about this type of moment, though, bro. I mean, by this time, you had to be feeling like, whew, you know, now we're in business type of deal, right?
No doubt, man. Yeah, you know, they really started coming into themselves, you know, about at this point in time. You know, the parvo thing really scares me, man, you know. So like I take, you know, a lot of precautions, you know. I don't let them out, you know, too early. You know, if you do, you do. But I wait extra.
Right.
So this is, you know, this is when they were, you
And
know.
that's how we move too. That's how we move too, for sure.
Right. No doubt. And you know, so they're just getting, you know, kind of acclimated outside, you know, and loving life,
And
you know,
as
with
you guys
that.
can
And
see, they are most definitely loving life out there.
but you know, and this, you know, like I see him, you know, every day, you know, but like this, to be looking back on this footage and stuff, like this is when, you know, they were really starting to kind of show out, you know what I mean? They were getting, you know, starting to build a little mass. And I think they look really, really, really good in this footage right here, man. You know, and there wasn't
And
at all.
honestly, this footage probably, you know, could show them a little bit more justice in the next footage we're going to show you guys, because they are getting older. They're starting to stretch out. They're looking like, you know, Shaq as a 13-year-old kid. You understand what I'm saying? So they're a little bit, you know, a little bit bigger, a little bit leggier, that type of stuff. But, you know, if you're really paying attention to this type of stuff, it's going to give you more of a version of what you really think that dog would be. But these dogs look amazing. Just wait till you guys see them.
Yeah.
Right here, what you guys are going to be seeing is the puppies at 7.5 months old. The first set you guys are going to see are going to be the boys. And like I said, he's got some amazing deals on these puppies. You're going to be looking at pups from 1,000 to 1,500, give or take. You know what I mean? And if you guys see any of these pups that you're interested, you know, go ahead and let them know your number, Matt. That way, you know, I wish I would have had the number ready to plaster on here, but go ahead and let them know your number. And if anybody wants to get in touch with Matt, you also can reach out to me and I will put you in touch with him. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that for sure. But my number's 419 961 7660. 419-961-7660. Call, text is cool either way, but preferably a phone call, man. You know, let's talk about it. These pups right now are totally, you know, up to date with the dewormer, totally up to date. They won't need shots again until their annuals. You know, that saves money in itself. You buy a pup, you got to take it to the vet. You know, if you don't do shots in house, it might cost you $200, you know, for the next round.
Yep,
so.
yep. I mean, not only that, you know, ear crops, everything. You know what I mean?
That.
Like, and there's some solid pups, as you guys can see, man. These dogs are out there. You know, not only are they some bulls, but they also got some drive, as you guys can see. These puppies are actually 3 times white folks. Matter of fact, I don't know if we ever had that conversation, bro, but you're the first person to do the 3 times white folks breeding. You know what I mean? So, you know, big shout out to you making that white folks blood live on. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. We got 91 people in the building. If you haven't, make sure you guys hit this like button and share the video to all your social medias. We appreciate y'all. We're going to be getting to your guys' comments here really soon. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and, you know, again, you guys are looking at the males, that type of stuff. And these puppies are going for a steal. And not only that, like I said, they're ready to put in work damn near really, really fast. So, you know, with getting them a little bit older, matter of fact, we had one Killinois family member that, you know, when we spoke on that age, he had said something right here. Diamond Cow, he's a Killinois family member that just picked up a pup off our last litter, and he's a repeat. He says, that's facts. He's like, I'm up in here. I'm glad this time this boy was older. I just got from the last litter. You know, as you guys can see, when they're older, they're a little bit more manageable. You also got these dogs crate trained as well, right, Matt?
Yep, crate trained and potty trained.
That's right. That's right. You know, and he's got a bunch, you know, how many, you know, you did sell 2 puppies and you're going to be keeping 2. So you have, what is it? 7 available.
I got 2 females and 5 males available. Yep.
All right. Yep. This and like I said, again, what you guys are looking at right here is going to be the males. So if anybody's interested, make sure you tap in with Matt, or you can hit me up and I will make sure you get a hold of him. You know, don't be calling him, wasting, you know, don't be sending him text messages, window shopping with him, you guys, man. These puppies are getting older and we need to get them into some new homes ASAP. But, you know, you will not find these type of quality anywhere in the world, even necessarily from us, for this type of price. He's just looking to get these guys into some homes. He's been doing his things. This litter has been kicking his butt. And for anybody that's interested in a nice dog for a good ass deal, get with Matt and let him know your number one more time, bro.
My number's 419 419-961-7660. 419-961-7660.
If any of you guys got any specific questions, you know, want to know what's up, you guys are looking at the females right now. Both super, you know, all three super solid females. The one female Matt is keeping is this girl right here in the back. But these two girls are available, and they are both solid as can be. Super nice girls, man. Both of them. And the boys are nice too. Let's go ahead and go back to the boys, because we running through that stuff pretty quick, man. If any of you guys got any questions you want to ask Matt, let it know in the comment section right now. And, you know, I can answer them, or Matt can answer them for you right here on the live. JH says, Matt did his thing. Good job. I know that's right. That's a Killinois member showing you some love right there, big dog.
Appreciate it.
To the top, don't stop said, what's the mom's pedigree? The mom is out of our boy, White Folks Jr., and our girl, Bluetiful. These puppies' pedigrees are top-notch, some of the most exclusive blood you can find, and you will not find them for deals like Matt is offering here, and I promise you that. You won't get this blood from us this cheap, and if these puppies were any cheaper or any younger, you wouldn't be getting them for that price as well. The only reason they are priced at this is because of their age. And as you can see, they are heavily socialized. They're out there having the time of their lives, man. My partner Alex Toller, he just said, show them females again. He might be buying one of these girls off of you, my boy. That's how nice the pups are. I mean, of course, Alex, he's interested in females because he's a breeder and he's already got a whole lineup of badass males. But yeah, the males are super nice, and so are the girls, man. Troy Larson says, how much for the blue female? What are you trying to get out of her, Matt? Have you made your mind up yet, or?
Yeah, I was wanting 15 for her. But who in the comments you said Troy something? Give me a call, man. We can talk about it, you know, for sure. Hit me up.
Yep. Make sure y'all tap in with them again. I'm going to post the number in the comment section. This is the number to get a hold of Matt if you guys need to get a hold of him. RL says, appreciate the quick response. These pups are fire. The live stream is great networking. I'm subscribed and love your platform. Appreciate that, big dog. Like I told you, man, these lives are going to get to cracking. What's the ped on the mom? The mom is got some of the most exclusive blood in the world. She's out of White Folks Jr., which is she herself is 2 times White Folks Jr. or 2 times White Folks. She comes out of White Folks Jr. and Bluetiful. She's got Rocco blood. She's got Muscle Tone blood. She's got Killinois blood. Top-notch exclusive pedigree. This is our blood, you guys. This ain't something. This is specifically Killinois blood. He got both. He got this female from Killinois Kennels and bred her to a Killinois Kennels stud. The father is Vanilla Gorilla. White Folks and Muscle Tone. You know, White Folks bred to a Muscle Tone Magoo daughter, which Magoo is up front on this stuff. The pedigree is insane on these puppies. Yeah. Hewlin says, great, man. Great heart, great litter. That's right.
Appreciate it.
Jesse says, do you take cash or cash app? He could take either or. Big Dog Nelson says, what's the price on the 2 black and white males? Let's go ahead and get to that. I know he's got one for 15. That's the one with the more black, right?
Yeah, the one with the more black, 15. The one that's spotted like a cow with the more white, a grand.
You can't beat that, bro. He's just trying to get some of his money back. He's so in deep on this litter, it's not even funny. He's not even going to break even, you guys. You understand? Yeah. He's just trying to get some of his money back. He's got a lot invested in. With everything that happened here with these puppies and stuff, this is why he's selling older puppies like this. It's not strictly only his fault. A lot of it has to do with our computer shutting down. That type of stuff, handling business. We had to take care of our business ourselves before we were in the same boat as Matt, trying to sell you guys 7-month-old puppies. You know, this was just an unfortunate uh, group of events that put it into this situation.
Yep.
So, you know, as he said, he's got the white boy right here. The more white, 1,000. What you asking on that fawn boy that we was just looking at?
Which one?
Let's see. Yep, you got 2 of them here.
Yep.
So you can see what we're looking at right now, right, Matt?
I can see, but from this, like where the view is in the video now, I can't tell.
I would imagine he wants 15 for that one or 1,000 for that one and 15 for this one. I mean, it's up to Matt, of course, but
yeah, no, but you're totally right. One is 50. All right.
Hold on, my bad. I'm trying to get.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just if
there's
like
a whole nother boy
backyard
there too that I don't think we really seen in that. Let's go. I'm gonna get to the more updated footage, you guys. All right, here we go. This boy right here, right?
That one's
1,000.
Yep.
Okay. Yep, 1,000 for this boy right here. What about this one? This spotted one right here. 1,000 for that one too, or?
Yep.
1,000 for that boy too, and then 1,500 for this boy over here. This boy right here. Yep, 1,500 for him. So you guys can't beat it, man. These are going to be some nice dogs, and keep in mind right now the way you guys are looking at these puppies, this is their linky stage, and that's no BS. They might not look linky, but this is a linky stage. You understand what I'm saying? They're 7.5 months old. They're like a teenager. They haven't these dogs are gonna go be way crazier than what you're looking at right now. And I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
The pedigrees are fire, Jason H says. That's right. Troy Larson says, Killinois been killing the bully game forever. Keep up the amazing work. I definitely will be reaching out about the female. Where are they located? They're located in Ohio. Let them know, like a roundabout city or your city or whatever, bro.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm in Warren, Ohio. If you're not familiar with that, I'm about 20 minutes away from Youngstown. I mean, I'm about an hour away from Akron, a couple hours from Columbus, you know. But yeah, I'm located specifically in Warren, Ohio.
Okay, and not only that, you guys, you know, if you're not near him, you guys can get these dogs shipped from our ground shipper, and he's on the road right now. And you know, if we can get enough people, you know, if we can get enough people to hurry up and grab these puppies up, we can get you some really good deals on the shipping and get them out fast for you, because he's somewhat near this area now. There's some solid pups in here, you guys. You know, make sure you guys go back through this video. And if you got, for anybody that's super interested, you know, go back through this video and check them out, man. And if we didn't speak on a specific puppy that you had your eye on, here's the females right here. Super nice female. This girl, both of them are nice. This girl's going to be a real nice show contender, you guys. For y'all that are looking to get in that ring, super, super nice girl. Both of them are, for the most part. You know, you said, what did you want? 1,500 a piece on the girls?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. So we just want to get on here and help out the homie Matt while we're in between litters right now. That type of stuff, man. Super, super nice girls, as you guys can see. Solid, solid girls. The one in the back is not for sale. That's his keeper. I just told him to put her in there since there's only a couple females. That type of deal. And he did sell 2 pups. What pups did you sell? Were they both females?
Yep.
Both females, okay. And they wasn't like the top ones. You guys are getting more. You guys have got more of the top of the litter right here.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, no BS.
How much to ship to Minnesota? I'm not 100% sure, but it shouldn't be that bad at all. It shouldn't be that bad. Shouldn't be that bad at all. You never know. Matt might be willing to ship one of those out too. You never know.
You never know.
Jesse says that's a hell of a deal, man. I know that's right. I know that's right. Super good deal. Farron Simmons says, watching from the Bahamas. Big shout out to you for tuning in, man. We appreciate you. But, you know, for those of you guys that are new in here, This is our Killinois family member that just went through a hell of a storm to offer these puppies that you guys are looking at. The puppies are all in good shape. There's nothing wrong with him now, man. He went through a lot, and if you're not familiar with what he went through, make sure you guys go back previous to the live and go check that out, man. Go check that out. You know, he breaks down the whole story, super sad story, small breakdown. He ended up losing the mother to these puppies. This is going to be the mother right here. Sir Brimington says that girl is going to be a beast. Yeah, their girls are all nice, man. The girls are all nice. The boys are nice. They're nice puppies, man. And like I said, you know, he got a little bit better footage of the females right here where you can really see them. But, you know, the boys aren't no slouches at all, man. There's some hogs in there. Take a look at the boys. Look at the girth of them dogs and the movement. Not only are they some bad bulls, but these dogs can move. Look at them. They're out there. It's super hot, super nice. All the way around the board. Nice dogs. You will not find this blood nowhere in the world for these prices. And the only reason why they are priced this cheap is because they are a little older.
Yep.
Jesse says, I like them fawn males. Appreciate that.
Crazy.
JH says, man, if I was in the market for another puppy, I would be jumping on these. That's right. That's right. Diamond Cow says, fire price. If I didn't have mine, I'd be jumping on that deal, especially for the people who haven't got a pup yet. You're tripping if you don't jump on these. I know that's right. That's Killinois family member, and he's picked up actually 2 dogs from our kennel. Yep. We're looking at the boys here, man. We're looking at the boys. That's a solid boy going for 1,000 right there. Can't beat that. That dog is going to be a monster. And I'm telling you right now, when these puppies, like I mentioned, you know, they're in a linky stage right now. This is the goofiest these puppies are ever going to look. You know, like I was telling Matt, whenever we did the breeding with Vanilla Gorilla and whenever we did the breeding to create Vanilla Gorilla with White Folks and Cookie, you know, there was only 2 pups, and I did that for a puppy back deal. Well, being that there was only 2 pups, I had let my partner keep I was supposed to be getting a pup back, but since there was only 2 pups, I let my partner keep Vanilla Gorilla. Well, when Vanilla Gorilla was this age, he was looking so goofy that my partner said, you know what, Dayton, I'm going to sell this dog. And I told him, I said, man, no, you're not. Man, I will take that boy. And I just knew how nice he was as a puppy. There was no way in hell he was going to be looking goofy like this. You know what I mean? So I kept Vanilla Gorilla, and look at Vanilla Gorilla now. That same partner, when he seen Vanilla Gorilla, you know, he damn near busted a tear. He was so upset with himself for not keeping that boy. You got to have faith in these dogs. You got to have faith in the blood, and they're going for some amazing deals that you will not be able to beat. All pups come ABKC registered, up to date on shots, wormed, ears cropped, everything, just like we do here at the Killinois camp. So can't beat it. The black male with the more black on his back, he's going for 1,500. The one with less black is going for 1,000. These girls both are going for 1,500. You know, these are the prices. You guys shouldn't be calling them trying to wheel and deal, but I'm sure on some of them he might be open a very little bit. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, these puppies are going to go fast. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I've already got people sending me messages talking about send me his info, this and that. So big shout out to you guys. You know, Killinois, my partner Alex from Killinois Kennels says, Jason H, I'm over here thinking. That's right. That's right. He's thinking about grabbing one of these girls, man. And that's a Killinois member. He knows what the blood goes back to him. He knows what's going on with these puppies. And he knows that there is some quality stuff in here going for a crazy steal that you will never find us giving these dogs away this cheap. I don't care if they're 6-7 months old. And Matt just doesn't have the following. You know what I mean? And that's something that me and Matt have been talking about a lot here lately. We've been talking a lot about, you know, you got to get them out there and get them going on your own as well. You know, I
Yeah,
always help you, but you got to get yours, you know, get yours going as well.
for
That type
sure.
of deal. JH says, hell yeah, Alex. JH is agreeing with Alex, you know, my partner Alex, which, you know,
Yeah,
produces some of your guys' favorite dogs on this channel, is really thinking about buying one of these girls. Blind says, pay him what he asked. He already took a loss. That's right. That's right. Don't be calling them trying to lowball them. These are deals, man. These are deals. And you know, don't be calling them trying to lowball them, bro. Don't let them do that to you, bro. Don't let them
appreciate
do that to you. Don't let
it,
that
for sure.
do that to you. This is quality blood he's offering at a good introductory price. Don't
Yeah,
call him trying to do that, man. Don't call him trying to do that. You know, I want to send, you know, RIP to Sasha, man.
no doubt.
RIP to this girl, man. Real talk, man. And I'm really sorry that you went through all this, man. It's very unfortunate, you know, very, very unfortunate situation. If you're new in here and you're not understanding, the mother of these puppies died after birth. You know, she
Mm.
wasn't even alive, what, 12 hours afterwards?
No,
And, you know, she ended up having a blood clot and she passed away, man. And, you know, that's super unfortunate, man. RIP to Sasha, man. And I'm really sorry, bro, that you went through that. Real talk.
no doubt. Appreciate it.
Matt has been a stand-up Killinois member the whole entire time, man. Stand-up dude. Nothing but love for him, man. And I'll always have his back. I will always be there as a, you know, not, you know, I'm not even gonna say a mentor, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna always be there as a good homie and
No
help him
doubt.
out with anything, man. And you know, if you guys are in the Ohio area, hit up Matt and go check these dogs out in person. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Go check them out in person and hand pick your dog right in person. You don't have to go just off of these videos. That type of
Right.
deal. You know what I mean?
Pull up.
If there's anything that you want to let them know while we're in here, bro, you know, if you guys got any specific questions for Matt, let us know in the comment section. And if there's anything that you want to let him know right now, go ahead and let him know, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. You know, the what you've seen on the videos is what's really here. You know what I mean? What's in the next room in this house, man. You know, if you're in driving distance, you're more than welcome to pull up on me. Like Dayton said, you know, hand select your own puppy. This is raw cell phone footage, you know, none of it's been, you know, messed with or whatever, man. These are crate trained, potty trained, up to date on shots, socialized bulls, you know, that are going for a really, really low price. You know, and my loss is your gain on this trip. You know, so really, man, if you got any questions, you know, after the live or whatever the case may be, my number again, 419-961-7660, located in Ohio, but definitely hit me up. But man, I'm telling you, if you guys are, you know, locked in or still, you know, kind of on the fence or whatever, Dayton has been here for years at this point, every step of the way. With me, he's always been, you know, supportive. He gives, you know, guidance when I need it, answers any question, always returns calls, you know, or answers calls. You know what I mean? And we've established this rapport, you know, and just, you know, talk back and forth about dogs for years. And like when he tells you in the videos that like he's really about that life, and once you become, you know, Killinois family, like he really is there to answer the
A
calls.
lot of people don't really understand that, bro. They think like, you know what I mean? Like they think
They're missing out.
it's because they have to reach out. I can't
Yep.
personally reach out. If I reached out to every single partner or a Killinois member, you guys see them in the lives. We got so many Killinois members, man. I can't just happen to call you guys all on your own. Reach out
Right.
to me and I'm going to answer your phone, bro. Have I never not answered your phone? Like
Never, ever. Yeah,
that type of
always.
deal.
Like never not, you know what I mean? You always have.
And it's not like Matt, you know, don't get me wrong, Matt's a special dude and I rock out with him, but he ain't getting no special treatment. This is how
Right.
we treat all of our Killinois family
Yep.
members.
Yep. Yeah. So if you're not reaching out, you know, and you want that type of support, or you got questions or whatever, he's totally about that. When he says it on the videos, he means that. And if you're not reaching out, you're missing out. So definitely do that.
That's
For
right.
sure.
That's right, man. That's right. For sure, man. We appreciate you, bro. You've been a model Killinois member, Killinois family member, bro. Real talk. You know, like I said, I feel weird telling another grown man I'm proud of you. You understand what I'm saying? But I
I
am,
appreciate it.
bro.
That
I
means a
am
lot coming
proud
from
of
you.
you. You know what I mean? I'm proud of you and your whole family. You all came together and made this thing work, man. And as you
Yep.
guys can see, out of all that stuff he went through, man, out of all the stuff he went through, he still got some amazing dogs sitting right there, dude. Like,
Yep.
that's crazy work, man. I'm like, really proud of how he handled it. You know, he handled the situation with the mom passing away. He had to bottle feed 11 puppies from day one.
Yep.
Not only that, then he goes and gets the ears done, and the vet screws him over, and he had, puppies that damn near died because the ears got infected. You know what I
Yep.
mean? That type of stuff. And then he bounced back a whole litter of 11 puppies. You understand what I'm saying? And he's got, so what, right now you got 9 of them total. You're keeping 2, right? So that means
Yep.
there's 7 available. So
Yep.
he's got 9 pups, crate trained at home, working his butt off every single day to make sure that they're nice and taken care of. And as you guys can see, they are taken care of. Well taken care of, man. And, big shout out to you guys. Or big shout out to you and your whole family, bro. Real talk, man. You guys did your thing,
Appreciate
man.
you, man.
Real
Appreciate
talk. But let's go ahead and get to a couple more of these comments. Jesse says, good live, man, and good luck to you, Matt. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Downtown Rich says, Puerto Rico in the house. Salute. Shout out to Puerto Rico. 2OG says, incredible story, Matt, at Killinois Kennels. Great story. Sorry for your loss of your dog. Great job. That's right. That's right. Bobby Banks says, keep banging bad bulls. That's right. That's right. Brian says, thanks, Matt.
Appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in.
JH says, Matt and his family are amazing. That's right. That's right, man. Big shout out to you guys. This is the dad right here, you guys. This is the dad of the pups. This is our boy, Vanilla Gorilla. You guys, for you guys that are tuned in the channel, you know how he gets down. This dude don't play around. This just isn't the best time for the 7.5-month-old footage to really be showing off these dogs. It's the leggiest they're going to be, but these dogs are going to bounce back. And as you guys can see, this is the father, a monster bull. You know what I mean? And the mother isn't no slouch herself. That's her, that's not a real good example of her. But here's the mom. Here's the mom right here, you guys. Super nice girl. Super nice girl. Sasha. R.I.P. to Sasha, man. It's really unfortunate. Well, that's it for the video, man. We hope you guys liked it. If you did, make sure you guys hit that like button, and let's shoot for 1,000 likes off of this video. If you watch the video all the way through, leave the words Killinois Kennels in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to our second channel, Top Dog TV. We travel all over the world to the biggest dog shows, covering those events. We got some really big things coming up with that, so make sure you guys stay tuned on both of those channels. Also, go check out our social medias. Go follow us on Instagram at Killinois_Kennels. Follow us at TikTok at Killinois Kennels as well. We're going to be posting a lot of exclusive content on those platforms that you will not see on YouTube. I think we got about 15,000 followers on Instagram, and we're coming up on 3K on TikTok. I want to send a major shout out to all the Killinois family, all the Killinois supporters, everybody hitting that like button, commenting on the videos, sharing the videos, and telling their friends about our channel. Again, we're on the road to 100K subscribers, and once we hit 100K, we're going to be doing a giveaway on a super nice puppy. So if you're not already, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. Again, I want to send a huge shout out to all of our supporters, man. Big shout out to all you guys, man. Make sure you guys stay tuned because we got a lot of big stuff coming up.